Okay. There we go there. All right, and we're there, and we're live. All right, so then we're over here. Good morning, friends. If you're seeing me on this Let's Do It Again start to doing a podcast, I hope everyone's having a happy Halloween as we start nice and early. Hi, I'm Jim. Have we talked before? Have we seen each other? I don't know. Maybe. But we're going to have some fun. Over the past week, maybe a little more, I've had folks asking me about doing a podcast. Why am I not doing a podcast? And that mainly started with Alicia. And it's like, okay, well, I'll do a podcast. So here we are. So I'm in the process now of just making sure that things are doing what they're supposed to do on the tech front, because I'm only streaming to Facebook right now because you matter more. Where, oh, where? I just want to be able to monitor the comments as we go. But I do hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Where am I? I don't see it. Facebook, you cat. Where the hell is it? That's funny because now, for all intents and purposes, it's showing me over here. Here, look. Look. See, over here, it's showing me that, yeah, we must be live because it says we are. There I am there with the little live button there, but looking for it over here on my regular feed, I'm not seeing it. Anyway. Where are you? That's weird. Anyway, I want to get this resolved before we actually dive in because I want to talk about a bunch of stuff this Halloween season. Oh, there I am. There I am. Where to go? Okay, I'm going to pin it to the top. There we go. Come on. And there we go. We're pinning. And we're now pinned. And so this should make it a little bit... hey, there's Laura. Laura, good morning. And happy Halloween to you as well. Okay, let's see. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. As you see in the description, I did something over here I didn't mean to do. Pardon the clunkiness, kids. I've done this type of stuff like 1,000,001 times before, but like the roofer with the leaky roof, it's easier for me to do it for you than sometimes it is for myself. Anyway, have no fear. Yes, stay hydrated, kids. Water is important, but equally important is your coffee. Okay. Now, where are we? Okay. So anyway, we're going to have some fun with this thing this morning to where I want to talk about some of the stuff that I've been kind of vibing with locally or lack thereof, and that includes Harrison and Branson in that area, as well as that kind of weird duo thing I'm not fond of right now. But what else we're going to do? We are going to, oh, I've got some cool stuff that I've been introduced to that will help you with your Halloween vibe, and if you aren't feeling it, and we'll dive into that, as well as what's happening on the national stage when it comes to some things out there from Stranger Things Season 5 coming up very, very soon, and extended, as well as the alien invasion that is 3i Atlas. I'd love to get your take on it, because I don't know, I'm kind of underwhelmed, and there's a little bit more to it, I think. Then at the end of the whole thing, I want to share some stuff from the business side of world that Jim and Alicia and Ant Multimedia are doing, because that's why we do things, right? Right. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a fantastic Halloween, and I know I am. Oh, I don't want that. I wanted to mute this. I'm telling you guys, have no fear. I'm a trained professional. Come on, work. There we go. Mute. There we go. Okay. So anyway, I want to keep an eye on that though. All right. Where are we? We are going to start at the top. So I had put a post out. Okay, first off, I'll just be straight with you. I have avoided Facebook and almost any and all social media interactions and everything for the past month because I was on a digital detox, and I highly recommend it. Frankly, I'm not a big fan of the platform because, and we're going to get to this when we talk about Three Eye Atlas and other things. But and it's nothing against you guys. It's just the way this algorithm works and just the platform itself that it gets so toxic so fast. And it's a drag, man. And it just gets me out of sorts, and I don't like being out of sorts like that. I like being a happy, positive guy for the most part. And there are a lot of stories in that too. I'd love to share with you, but I don't want to overdo it. Where am I at? I want to, first off, let's talk about this local vibe thing I was talking about. Now, I had posted on two of the bigger local groups, one being a Little Birdie Told Me here in Harrison, and then also the Branson Buzz in regards to looking for Halloween displays. I know last year driving around town in Harrison, man, the displays were great. I put up a bunch of pictures as I was coming across them, and it was awesome. This year, not so much. And reading people's comments, it's a lot of folks are leaning on the economic situation, and that's unfortunate. It is, and for everybody. I mean, it's tight. Things are tough all over, no doubt about it. And so, I um, I feel for everyone out there, and there's a whole other discussion we'll talk about tomorrow when it comes to um, what is being perceived to be the snap apocalypse, I think they're calling, when it comes to federal funding coming to an end due to the government shutdown when it comes to SNAP benefits. A lot of fear and anger and hatred that's being spewed on these platforms, and I just loathe it. I do, because, well, there's a lot of manipulation in that, but we're going to talk more about that here in a few. But before we do that, I want to go into this Halloween. It's fun, man. I see a lot of folks, and it's funny because I saw more of it and the Branson responses than the Harrison responses when it comes to, I think they were more tongue in cheek with the Branson stuff because it was mentioned on the Harrison site. But it's like the Demon Knight, it's Satan's holiday. Brother, it's a Ben Cooper costume, the way I see it. It is what you make it. So now, if you're out there and you're sacrificing things to, I don't know, get some kind of leverage from the Dark Lord, that's on you, man. Most folks just really dig costumes and candy. I'm one of those. So, anyway, there's that. But if there is something going on tonight for Halloween, share it in the links if you happen to be watching, because we don't know. It's hard to stay up to date on what's happening now because everyone's attention and eyeballs and ears are so spread out that it's hard to keep up. So put it in the links. This is one way we could do something, or put the links in the comments so we can all learn a little bit more in this one teeny tiny little sliver I'm carving out. But yeah, another thing I want to touch on, because it's a grind my gears thing. Again, in the Harrison Little Birdie page, once again, and it's like, I don't know how often, but very often when it comes to someone always asking, what do we need in town? What do we need? What does Harrison need? I'm going to just say once, and I'll probably say it again because I'm old and cranky, but you know what we need? We just need people to support what's already here. That's it. Seriously, having been in town for 17, going on 18 years now, I've seen businesses come, I've seen businesses go. I see people yell and scream that they want something and stomp their feet, and then when it comes, they don't support it, and it's gone, and then they whine and cry again. So shut up and just take a look at what's around. You might be surprised. You may not even know that the thing that you say you're wanting is out here. And certain things are actually just up the road in Branson. It's not that far. We have a highway that makes it a quick drive, and also other things in Hollister. So we got a nice little thing going on here that's all highway. That's not even including cruising out to Eureka or down to Jasper or anything here in the area. There's a lot of options. So what do we need here? We need people to participate. And that's not speaking from I'm doing a local thing push. Nope, not at all. The 72601.life is still active, needs to be updated, will be, because I want to see people here thrive, especially the ones I like. And those are the ones that have the bigger pictures on the page. So with that said, but now let's get back into Halloween. This is more fun because yesterday morning I got Rosie, Rosie, where are you, Rosie? He shared with me something awesome. Rosie Somerville let's see here. I'll show you this. I made a post about it last night. Or economics. Right here, you're going to see this right here, the Rothfiles podcast. There's a link, and when you click the link, it's going to take you over here. And this podcast is fantastic. And now, in the post that I made, I was talking about being a huge fan of old time radio. This is not an old time radio thing. Okay, it's a podcast. It's narrated. They're stories, and they're good stories. I mean, talk about, I love a well-produced audiobook, and this is what I would equate it to. The narrator is top shelf. And again, those stories are solid. They're very well written, and they give a fantastic spooky vibe. Even though it's, again, this isn't just a Halloween thing. This is like available all year round, and you can check it out. And that is the Roth Files podcast. Check it out. The link I put up. I bet I can do this again. Let's see. I'm going to do it over here. Let's see. Oh, it's me. I am on camera. Okay. There you are. What I'm going to do is in the comments, we're going to do it like this. We're going to juggle a little, okay? Because we can. All right, so over here and then over here in the live stream that's pinned. Oh, yes. Here we go. Let me put that in there. There we go. Okay, so I just put in the comments a link to the Roth Files podcast with Rosie. I mean, the writing is awesome and the performance is great, and it's a wonderful way to get into a vibe, man, for the spooky season. Or if you're like me, and I love a good horror anthology. I'm not into the gore and the gut stuff, but I love a good thriller, mystery, spooky, kooky story because it's more fun to me. But that's just me. Anyway, check it out when you get the chance. Another thing that I do want to recommend to you that I had, move that out of the way, Jim. One of the other things that I had gotten into or came across, and you may have seen this at Walmart as well, there was a Blu-ray that had hit the shelves that I had not heard anything about ever. It was the WNUF Halloween Special. And let's see, whatever. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen that. Hey, we don't need that ad. But anyway, right here you see the footage from the WNUF Halloween Special. Man, I got to tell you, I saw it, and the retro packaging for the Blu-ray really, it caught my attention. I love that stuff. I miss seeing the 20th century. For you younger folks out there, you may have not known how awesome it was, because it was. I mean, being a kid in the 70s and the 80s and a teenager and going into adulthood in the 90s, we loved Halloween and we had a lot of fun with Halloween. And no matter what kind of scares and panics that they put out there, who cares? It was fun. If you took it too seriously, that's on you. Anyway, drink more coffee, kids. But the WNUF Halloween Special, man, I popped it in. I wasn't exactly sure what I was in for, but why is that doing that? Yeah, we'll do that later. But this is great. And I would recommend it as something to have on in the background, because it's like it's a time machine of sorts. When if you were there then and you turned on the television, this is probably what you'd see. Now, for me, back in the 90s, I was producing radio stuff, and and it was the same vibe. And I was actually wanting to do something like, Ben wanted to do something like that again for a while. But when I saw that with the WNUF Halloween Special, I was like, well, looky there, somebody did it with pictures, and it's fun. So if you want to experience the 80s and 90s Halloween vibe that came by way of television, check that out. And let's see here. I gotta get my thing together here. I wonder if I can do it like this. We're gonna try something. Let's try something. So I'll give you the IMDb link you can find to buy wherever you want to. Oh, okay, I can do it here. Okay, so I'll do it there and there. And there it goes. So, but check that out. And again, you can, I know it's probably still available in Walmart, only on Blu-ray though. I don't know why there's not a DVD. That's weird. But totally, I mean, it's totally worth it. It's like it sets a tone and a pace that's not it. That's another commercial. So, but the WNUF Halloween special, check it out if you and have it on in the background. And I'm sure you probably find it on YouTube or some of the other streaming platforms. But that one is really fun. Let's see what else is going on. Another thing that I saw this morning, and we are fans of the show when it comes to Stranger Things. Now, this Netflix exclusive produced series that began back in 2016, I was a little reluctant at first. I wasn't really into it, and it took me a while before I actually tuned in and watched. It was probably, gosh, 2020 before Alicia and I dove into it. I tried to watch it when it first came out, but it just didn't grab me. But fast forward 5 years or whatever, and it did, and it was a very good show, and it's got some great conspiracy stuff in there. And let me make sure. Yeah, okay, everything's good. Anyway, 2016 to where we are now, to where we're getting these series finales, Stranger Things 5, and you know, I watched the trailer. I'm not going to play it because I'm trying to avoid any of those silly copyright strikes and all that you get on the interwebs when you're just trying to talk about something. But yeah, the trailer, it's interesting because okay, it's like all the characters are back. People have complained about the kids being older now because it has been so long since the end of season 4. Don't care. I mean, there's movie magic, cameras and lights that make all that be what it is. Kreslin, good morning. I didn't miss you. Just want to say hi real quick. But with season 5 and watching the trailer, the thing that got me is I knew that they were doing something kind of wonky with the release on it because the first one coming out, I guess, when is that? It's like next week, I guess. It's in November, where you would hope, it would be a Halloween thing because it would be cool. Let's see. When does that come out? I don't care. You can look it up because the bigger thing about it is Netflix is doing such a it's man, it's scammy. It's scummy. I don't like it, but it's business. You got to do what you got to do. But instead of it being, a weekly release, it's a monthly thing. So you got one dropping in November, one dropping in December, and then the final being in January for the new year. Man, that's I think it's going to bite them. I really do. I think it's going to bite them because, I mean, you know why? It's obvious because even if you do like a 30-day free trial just to get into November, well, then you got a resub or for December and January and all that. It's just, uh, I don't see it as a smart strategy. I see it as gouging people into doing it, and I just don't like that. I know we're going to wind up. We already have a Netflix subscription because Alicia, she's all about the Netflix, and as such, because she's got a couple shows on there she watches, like Supernatural, which I think that's leaving now. But then also she's gotten plugged into The Crown, so she likes the whole that blue blood inbred reptilian storyline that they've got going on for a very long time. I said that out loud because I can. Anyway, Stranger Things season 5. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I just found it peculiar the way it's just scummy. It's just naughty, in the worst way. Let's see here. It's funny, Laura, seeing here where you're talking about how, Harrison there's not a lot of people who like Halloween here. What's funny, though, is I can reflect back over the years that I know it was 2010, I believe, where that particular year with Scare on the Square, it was awesome. I mean, wow, it was more than just the trunk or treat thing. It was in the heyday of what was the initial start of the Historic Harrison Business Association and the real power players that were doing things then. And it was a big to do. I do believe we did it again in 2011, but now it just kind of faded like a lot of things, sort of like Christmas lights, which is truly a bummer. Yeah, and the picture of your yard was awesome too, Laura. Thank you. What else we got going on here? Moving along. Again, this podcast thing, I've wanted to get back on, but I'm a firm believer, and if you don't have a reason to crack the mic open, don't. And I don't really, when it comes to like the influencer types and the podcasts that are all so prevalent and everybody talking about the same things, it gets boring. to me, because their opinion is like my opinion, like your opinion. We all have one, and it is good to discuss things. But I personally could never be so pretentious as to want to just stand on a foundation of that. But we'll see what happens. What else? Oh, this three-eye atlas thing. Are you following that? Because that's one of those things that, I had caught wind to it when they first started talking about it with all of this stuff with this super weird, spooky. Um, there we go. Like I say, on Reddit, they're talking a lot about it, but it's like, what is all this sudden hubbub about the three-eye atlas thing? Is it a comet? Is it a rocket? More importantly, could it be an alien mothership? And we're finally going to have real first. I don't care. But I would love to know what you think, because I'm genuinely curious when it comes to like these big national headline news distraction type things. What's your take? I personally don't buy into most all of the alien stuff. I'll be honest with you. For all the years that, in my media career, dating all the way back to like 92, I've dabbled with a lot of those stories and people and personalities that I've met over the years. And at one point early on, I was cool with the whole UFO alien thing, but as time went on and the more I've observed and witnessed and talked to, I just don't buy it. I don't. I know it's a big giant universe. Mathematically, we should have all kinds of life forms out there like us or more. Maybe, maybe not. I've never bought it. I just don't. And this whole thing coming up as it is, it's just another roller coaster of emotions. As I said earlier, when it comes to social media and trying to be mindful and careful on it, because it can drag you down fast, even when you're not paying attention. Because you figure when you go to your Facebook or X or any of the other ones, when you're scrolling, it's like you get taken through so many emotional highs and lows that we humans weren't really meant for that many quick human changes of things. It's just psychologically damaging. It just is. You can't go from ha 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 happy 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 to yelling and screaming about politics and all the other stuff and that be a good thing, because it's not. Now that I'll stand on that rock, because I just you can see it now from, say, the first, well, the initial big rollout of Facebook, say 2010, when everybody really embraced it and started using it so predominantly, to where we are now 15 years later. We can see the damage that it's done on a lot of levels. But the big thing is definitely when it comes to that emotional pull and response that it does to people. And I see this three-eye atlas thing along with other things that are making those national headlines that everybody, as far as like the influence, are talking about. And guard your heart and your head, man. I can't, scratching my third eye. But really think about that, because we've all gotten so separated, as far as like we've lost our pop culture. That's another one of those realities we have to really consider. That's why I'm proposing to you the fact that we've lost our pop culture. We don't have those new summer blockbuster movies anymore. We don't have a top 40 radio. We don't have primetime television. We don't have the water cooler stuff, everything's got so much nostalgia driven stuff, like the remakes, the reboots, continuations of stories 20, 30 years later. And yeah, I don't know. Kind of looking at your comment there, Laura. Yeah, see, we're all of the same mindset there, and now when it comes to the alien thing, now I will keep my tinfoil hat on to say that I know there's more than just what we do with the three-dimensional 5 sense space. I know this. I've experienced way too much in life, starting very young, that I know it's not just the sight, sound, touch, taste, and which one did I forget? Sight, sound, touch, taste, feeling. Right? Yeah. No, I said that twice. Let's do this again. Let's go through the 5 senses together, shall we? So we can see things, we can hear things, We can taste things. There we go. We can smell things and touch. Did I get all five? Check me on that. But anyway, with the five senses, we do this is how this reality works. But I know there's more. What about you? Um, are you a believer in a sixth sense? I hope so. It's good for you. But for me, I just know that there's more than just the five. But I can't tell you exactly what that is. I don't know. I explored it. I've dove deep trying to figure it out, but I don't have a definitive answer. And you know what? I don't want one because that takes away the fun that we find here in this three-dimensional five-sense world. Also mystery. Everything doesn't need to be answered the way I see it. Where else are we? Okay. We are about 30 minutes into the broadcast. Feeling pretty good about this. This is going to be a morning thing. Kind of moving forward, actually. If you noticed earlier, let me go ahead and pull that up because I like the picture and it's fun. But if you noticed earlier, I had posted or I had changed my cover photo on my profile. And let's come back over to that. And here it is. It's the Dilbert crew, and along with my book Toys or Totems, and this all kind of actually makes sense. It's not just a massive tribute to Dilbert or Scott Adams, but it kind of is at the same time because in what I've been doing for the months and months that have accumulated throughout 2025, a lot of it's been a tough year on a lot of different levels. Learned a lot along the way, had some wins, had some losses, some big losses, very big losses. Um, but along the way, I did my best to like say, okay, dude, you can't be defeated or beaten by this because it's not who you are. It's not what you want to encourage in other people. Whether it's you guys out here or also my family here inside of my home with Alicia and Caitlin and my in-laws and my close personal friends. Don't you can't get defeated. You got to keep your head up. You got to keep moving. So one of the things that I did do that I'm sure you guys have seen now is I wrote a book, Toys or Totems. It's like how we learn to reconnect with the things that we loved when, say, we were little. And for some folks who like to collect, hold on to it. And just it's their hobby, it's their fun, it's their passion. Um, but to go deeper into why we do, that was the thing for me. And that's why the book exists, is I was actually sitting here in this spot, and it was in the beginning of the year. Had a lot of stuff going on with my mom down in Little Rock, and just a lot. And of course, the end of last year in December, emotional, crazy times, right? So anyway, but I'm sitting here and I'm a collector and I've got stuff and I like stuff. It's fun, right? A lot of different reasons. But I didn't know why I liked it so much because I was like really, really into it to where it was like it was an extension of me and my personality. I mean, I had jimstoybox.com where it was the first foray I got into blogging to learn what blogging was. And I found out, oh, you're just writing. Well, I did that and it became a part of my identity. And specifically because I was so ate up with my favorite collectible up to that point, and for many, many years, were the 8-inch action figures from the Mego Corporation. And that the why is kind of helped me dive a little deeper. Like this feller here that I picked up at the Apple Tree Mall in Branson in the wild, because you very seldom ever see these out and about around here. Whoop, there we go. Focus up. But he's in rough shape, busted knees, all kinds of stuff. No sticker, wrong boots. But the magic inside of that toy hit me again, and it's been a minute. It's been a minute. So I brought him home. 18 bucks later, I'm happy, 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 and he stays right there on my desk. No need to fix him. He's perfect just the way he is. But again, sitting down and asking myself those questions, a lot of deep thinking I've been doing with myself, mindfulness, procrastination, overthinking, not doing just something as simple as this for me. I got to diving into it and applying and started studying things like Carl Jung and Jungian psychology, and that whole rabbit hole of where we are as a society and how, um, you know, and again, this is a different conversation for a different day, but I touch on this sort of in the book when it comes to, imagine, if you will, for us 20th centuryers, our thoughts and what we believe to be the American way were really formed in a lot of ways by two people. One being Sigmund Freud, and the second, his nephew, Edward Bernays. Now, you can say this is conspiracy stuff, but if you do your homework, you're going to learn some stuff that's I found fascinating. See, I love advertising, marketing, and promotion, right? I even have a company with that name, AMP Multimedia. And the stuff that I enjoy is pretty much a form of advertising, marketing, or promotion in one way or another, or a direct connection to. That said, now that we'll call it programming. They got into me and probably into you too, and where we connect to the pop culture and the water cooler talk. Um, it was all molded by these people, because if you look at Freudian psychology versus Jungian psychology, you'll see a completely opposite perspective on the perspective of reality, right? How Freud looked at it, how Jung looked at it. Totally different. But yet, I would say, and the way I see, like with Jungian psychology, which is really why the book worked for me and may work for you too, is that, again, it's like Jungian psychology goes into us, into what we do, more so than the external stuff that we're like with Freud. Let's just be real. Freud was a freak, man. It's like all of his stuff was based around. I just want to say this as right as I can, but the main thing is like there was a lot of sexual stuff in there. Everything that you did was a sexual or repressed sexual desire. Maybe, but partially somewhere along the way, it's one of those things that drives us, but it doesn't explain us. It gives an answer to it versus us doing a deep dive into ourselves to where we can kind of really examine. It wasn't telling, the Jungian stuff doesn't tell us how to think. It helps us explore why we do think what we do and then see if it is our thoughts. Yeah. Won't go too much more woo woo. Get the book. But to connect with those things that were such a huge part of our lives when we were little, I found, again, I had questions. I was like, why do I have this stuff? And in all of that and all this explorations and all this stuff that I've been working on, it's like I wanted to benefit other people in what I do. Um, let's we'll step back just a second with Edward Bernays, Freud's nephew, who is the father of modern propaganda as we know it. Now, propaganda as a term has definitely been spun around to where it means it's always bad. Propaganda bad. Well, Bernays, if you read his book, Propaganda, he was trying to take the word back from just being bad, because propaganda is it's neutral. It's a neutral term, but it's been the way it's been used in conversation and demonizing a particular governing body or a particular point of view, that the term propaganda is automatically got a negative connotation in your mind and my mind, because that's the way society has evolved the use of it. Where if you go back and you read Edward Bernays's Propaganda, the book, where he's trying to take the term back, you see that no, it's just persuasion is really what propaganda is persuasion. Um, and that can be good or bad, either one, don't know. But his efforts are why you and I believe that eggs and bacon are the perfect breakfast food or perfect breakfast meal. No, it's not. That's just good marketing, man. And that's a lot. It's like the term Banana Republic. That came about because of the work of Edward Bernays. And it's a fascinating story, and I suggest you look into it. Perhaps I can do a video on it if you guys are that interested, to kind of give you an overview. But again, looking at that and where we come from, our connection to things, which I have encouraged people to purchase over the years by way of writing reviews, sharing my thoughts. And I'm not against that now, but at the same time, I'm much more mindful of it. I don't want to push you into something that can turn into, like I did, with a personality trap, to where that thing is what people think of when they think of me. And that could be dangerous because, for instance, with my most favorite collectible toys, with the 8-inch Mego action figures, which I talk about a lot in the book, um, and why? And is because, say, a company or a company representative, where we are in this modern world, goes off on a tangent that is just ludicrous, stupid, disagrees with what I personally believe, may offend what you believe, so you associate me with that, then boom, we all go down. And that whole mind virus that we're all playing with um, is a drag, and it takes away the fun, and it takes away more than the takeaway is what it replaces it with. When it replaces it with thoughts that you yourself don't necessarily have, but you're represented by the thing. Like, okay, you wear a Nike emblazoned shirt, right? You get the Nike logo on there. Nike does something stupid like, I don't know, slave labor in China, and then you're automatically associated with what they do since you're wearing their brand or their logo. And it's a terrible spiral that it can be. But being mindful of it, you can do different things. All of that said, I prefer to look at the positive connections that have come from the things that we have enjoyed and have been a part of our growing and learning and doing. Because for me, again, I would use those Mego toys, or the toys from the Mego Corporation, as my fodder and subject matter to be able to learn new things. It's like, when it came to blogging, I had the action figures that I had on the wall in my collection at the time started it off because I knew I needed, and here, write this down. This is a hack for you if you are doing any type of advertising, marketing, and promotion. The main thing is consistency. And if you can structure things out like a day, 2, 3, 5, 15 days out, um, you'd be surprised how much more you can get done, not get overwhelmed, and still take care of what you need to. Anyway, I had stacked the first 13 blog articles that I was going to write. And I did reviews on those 13 figures that were on the wall, and I called it The Wall. So clever. But that's how it all started. And it it allowed for me to learn using the things that I loved. And that applies. Now, this isn't, now, when you see the book Toys or Totems and you think it's only about that, no, read the reviews. Because one of the things you're going to see is, even though I focus on this one aspect of stuff and things, it can be applied to anything that you are connected to and enjoy. And how, when you reconnect with that, but then do it in a mindful way to where you channel that energy from once upon a time ago, get that feeling from upon a time ago, you could bring that forward back into where we are right now, and how that can help you in your day-to-day work, in your hobbies, just in your personal life, to grab that good feeling, use it, and hold on to it, because that's the high side of these things. Going back to what I've been putting out, and this one here with my Shrine to Scott Adams, is because, again, inside of what I've been working on this past year and developing and doing, I listen to a lot of, actually every morning, 9 o'clock, that's why I know I'm going to wrap at 9 o'clock Central, so I can tune into Scott Adams, Coffee with Scott Adams. This is great. You can find it on YouTube. He's got a locals page, Rumble, X, everywhere. But I like Scott's take on things. I do. Um, it's not a confirmation. Now, he is a conservative type, but not a conservative, you know? And he's smart. I like that. And Dilbert makes me laugh. Scott makes me laugh. And the books that you see here, I recommend every single one of them for you to read. And there's one missing. It's Reframe Your Brain. I've got the audio version of that, and I'm wanting to get a physical copy as well. It's the thing. I like having both. The audio, because it gives me more chance to actually mind read it, and then I like having the physical just because if the mind reading platforms break, well, I've got my hard copy. I'm happy with that. So anyway, but in doing this stuff, and getting back into the world of service work, because I actually cut that off, man. After last year, and actually even before, when I go back 2023, I didn't want to go back into doing service work. I just didn't. As far as like you hire me to do videos and stuff like that, I was over it. A lot of different reasons. One of the biggest being, which is I'm missing my magic box. Where's the magic box? Well, here's another magic box. Like the magic boxes that we all have here, this technology, in all truthfulness, has replaced everything that I did, except for my knowledge, experience, and all that. But you yourself can do all of the stuff that used to be the professionals in radio and television and video production as an industry and career. It's been, in some ways, completely replaced, in other ways, not, because you still got to learn stuff. But I thinking about all of that, what are you doing? I hadn't turned this particular magic box on in a while. It's just going nuts. But you've got a full production studio right there in your pocket. And for me, I got a little intimidated by that reality because I know its power. I know what you can do with it. And I just kind of presume that you would. But that's not true. Some people just don't want to learn, can't learn, not interested, not their thing. And I lost sight of the value and the service that I can provide. But I got it again. I get it. It's like, okay, because in having conversations with people and businesses and hobbies and everything else, I took for granted the skills that I have stacked up over all these years and decades now. And it's truly simple to not put them out there. Now, I'm not giving it away. Don't get me wrong. I did plenty of that for a long time. And I'll help anybody. I'm actually going to build out courses, simple tutorials, and then deeper dives, the simple stuff that'll give you a good basic grasp of how to do stuff. I'm going to make those totally available because I'd love to see people learn and do. Now, you want to go into the deeper dives with those like masterclass type things or in-person trainings. We could do that, but that ain't free. Okay. I've learned that value too. And there's no shame in that. But I always felt bad about that because I had a lot of people, and you know who you are. I'll just say that I let nickel dime me. It's truth. And if you're that type that you undervalue yourself because people have, frankly, just manipulated you into believing that, well, I can only do, that's just not true. No, I've learned that. And so I don't. Now it's like, there you go. But I wrote a book. I've got more books in the pipeline to help you, and also videos and other things. That anyway, here and there. But anyway, but I put together services that I'll provide again. I'm only looking for a very select group of clients, period, because I'm not going to overtax myself again either. But anyway, we'll talk more about that at another time. But I bring all this back up because things like that, as I point out in the book, with Toys or Totems, and like this, the Scott Adams, what's the word I'm looking for? Temple? I don't know. I don't think that's the right word, but I'm losing that word. But anyway, that particular person and his content and the things he's done over the years inspired me. So when it comes to the things that I collect or the art that I like to have around me is normally that extension of that connection. See, it's like when you wear a band t-shirt, right? It's like the music is what brought you into the band, but the t-shirt keeps you connected to the experience, be it listening to the album for the first time or going to the live show. And that's the purpose of this stuff. And that was one of the things that I unearthed and put into the book, that when you stay connected to those good feelings, those happy vibes, and those things there, you can draw back off that energy, and it's important. And so and what's really cool, I'll do this one more time. Say what's really cool here, along with acquiring the books that you see there, Win Big, Lee, A Loser Think, and How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. All the books there are surrounded by the Dilbert figures that I actually 3D printed. Isn't it amazing, the universe in which we have now evolved into, to where you can either think of and push a button, or somebody else has already thought of and push a button, and you can just make it. That's awesome to me. I'm very grateful to live in the times in which we do, because you can play and have fun. So anyway, but yeah, I printed those just to build this little shrine. That's the word I was looking for. But the shrine that I built To my hair is making my forehead. Yeah, I'm topless. I'm kind of pulling back on the hat wear a little bit. Um, but when it comes to being able to connect with, that's what the collectible stuff means to me. It's art, and it's an extension of the things that have influenced me or I've done or experienced over the years. Like, this is fun. Caitlin and I worked on this a couple years ago. Now, for you guys who I've known for a long time, um, and the ones who don't, I'll get you up to speed. Way back in 2008, I had created the local television show Case Files of the Ozarks Ghost Research Society. That said, I wanted a mascot, and because I like that, I wanted my own Mickey Mouse, and that was Odie and his little ghost pal Zipper there. Anyway, this particular rendition of Odie the Ogre was designed by my pal Tim Barron, who's an amazing artist and done some incredible stuff over the past, well, since then. That's a conversation to have too. Try to get caught up with Tim. But anyway, but he had done that version for me because I wanted that style. But Caitlin and I, we made this little plushie. And it was fun. Just a little iron on transfer thing. And then she took the felt and stuffed it out into like one of those little plushies. It was fun. But again, that connects me back to those days and my thoughts and things. And those who like the type of stuff will buy the type of stuff. It's not for sale right now, but you get my point, I hope. Another thing, though, now I do want to bring this up because we're going to talk about this a lot. It's another post that I made yesterday. And here it is. So let me come back over here. Now, I don't know how many of you out there in normal people land are familiar with Seth Godin. Seth Godin is an absolute brilliant mind when it comes to marketing. And he's great. And one of the first things that a lot of people read or hear about that he put forward once upon a time ago was Purple Cow. Now, this book was originally released in 2003, and I think he did an update in either 2004 or 2008. I know 2008. But anyway, Purple Cow as a marketing strategy. Um, be remarkable. That's why I put that out there and why I posed the question to you. What makes you remarkable? Whether it's in your business or your hobby or just in life in general, the way I see it, is be remarkable, be worth talking about. And when it comes to Purple Cow, that's kind of it. He and his wife and his kids, they were on a road trip. And in this road trip, they saw cows. Now, I think they were from the East Coast, like around New York in that area. So seeing cows on the side of the road was a pretty unique thing for them. And they were all amazed by seeing the cows all along. They were like driving through Kansas or something. And anyway, but then after about 10, 15 minutes, they got bored with the cows. But then his son said, wouldn't it be cool to see a purple cow? And that got him thinking on that whole thing is like, we can get so caught up with what we do, and then things can get dry and things can get stale. So, what do you do to shake that up? A purple cow. Because then you talk about it again. It'd be a whole new brand new experience. It's still just a cow, but this one happens to be purple. Hmm. It's that mindset that can help you do whatever you do. If you have a clothing store, a restaurant, um, a church, a civic organization, a podcast, whatever it is, what can you do to shake it up again, to make it interesting again? And not just for the audience you're trying to attract, but just for yourself personally so you can get excited about your stuff again. And I know for me that was a big thing because I had gotten so burned out and bored and sick of it all that I walked away from it. Everything, I had to. I was tired. But then I remembered this book. And I got to thinking about this book. And here in the past month or so, I was really thinking about this book. And I listened to it again. And it was good. It was very, very good. And it got me thinking. And then I got to thinking about like when it comes to like 3D printing. Because I love 3D printing. The technology is fascinating. It's sorcery, man. Line by line, you get a little purple cow. Doesn't look very purple on camera. Looks more blue. But he's actually purple, I promise. Why is that? That's a whole other conversation. But the little purple cow. If you like a purple cow, when you see me out, say, hey, Jim, give me a purple cow. I'll have one in my pocket. I'll do one a day, maybe. I'll always have a purple cow in my pocket. I'll give it to you if we see each other. But now, if you missed the boat on that and I don't have the purple cow at the time, I mean, somebody else already got it. So keep your eyes open. But anyway, all of this stuff and where we are today in today's podcast, sorry, the cord, all the spaghetti all around. We're going to be doing new things. We're going to do this podcast thing. I thank you for playing along with me, actually, because it means a lot. Now, let me come back over here and check comments. Where are we? I want to make sure. I want to get up to date here. I saw there was somebody else who commented on something. What was it? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get caught up again on all of that. But again, thank you. Laura, I will get you a purple cow. I will make sure that this purple cow right here will be available to you. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we'll figure it out. There's a purple cow. So, but you got to see me in the wild for everybody else. Okay, that's important. Mainly because I like connecting with people. This is what this is all about, right? Let me plug the book. Let me come over here. Plug the book. And I'm going to get this, put this here. You can go to the website and paste and enter. And I will pull this up on the screen because to make sure, like everything, that you go to the real place. This is what the website looks like. It is toysaretotums.com. Through here, you can get the book by way of Amazon, to where you can get the ebook as well as the paper book for $19.99. If you have Prime, get shipped for free. If you're local, you actually have other options that I would recommend. One being Lovejoy Collectibles here in Harrison, just right north of Walmart. I've got a shelf in there where you can pick up the book. As well as in Branson, you can go by Apple Tree Mall. Miss Becky has them on display with some really awesome dolls that she puts out there for the world to enjoy. And so you can find Toys R Totems there. And then way out in Louisville, Kentucky, my buddy Tom, he has a booth out there. And all those links you can find on my page. And also, let me make sure everything is working like it should. If you go to toysrtotems.com, let's try it together. It's been a minute. So the Totem Retail Network, here you go. You can see Lovejoy Collectibles here in Arkansas, Apple Tree Mall in Missouri, and then South Louisville Antique Toy and Mall in Kentucky. Thanks to my brother from another mother, Tom, for getting those out there. And I am looking to expand in a grassroots way like this, that if you do have a retail location anywhere you are and you'd like to have the book, reach out to me. I've got a wholesale deal we can work out that I promise will be lucrative for both of us. You can also buy directly from me if you go to the website. Once again, let me come back over there. There we are. And you go to the shop page, and that's going to redirect you direct from me. You can actually get a discount on it. You get a book for $15 in the paperback. And eventually, I'm going to do an audiobook version. Just haven't sat down on that, but we'll work on getting rid of that procrastination soon. Another thing to keep us connected and to do things is come over to jimbumgardner.com. Yeah, I got my own .com. And there you're going to find the musings that come across my mind by way of either a really nifty daily prompt provided by WordPress's Jetpack. And it's kind of cool. I don't know how much writing you do. You should do more. But these little daily prompts are handy. So let's see what's going on today. Today, the prompt was, come on now. See, it's being particular with me since, oh, hey, look at there. Go play. Come on. Let's do this. Why are you being difficult? Okay, it was my mouse. So anyway, for today, the prompt was, what historical event fascinates you the most? And for me, it really is July 4th, 1776. Not just out of pure patriotism, but more importantly to me is the fact that those fellas, they were bold, they were committed, and they were absolutely insane because they were taking on the crown, the British crown, the United Kingdom, the big guys on the block. And they said, bite me. That's bold, man. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. It is. But I appreciate that because again, as an American, that's in our DNA, that's our core, that's what we've always known and believed. And I appreciate the hell out of it. That's why I'm sitting here doing this today because once again, I knew I needed to be bold. I needed to be creative and committed and nuts. And I'm good at all those things. And this is why we're going to keep doing this. All that said, another shout out I want to do before I wrap this whole thing up. It's almost 9 o'clock in the central time zone. And I want to join Scott Adams for coffee. You should too. It's a great show. But shout out to my pal Brandon Ruley with 360 Storm Tracker. I want to pull this up because I had seen earlier he had made a post that's Storm Track 360 that was very interesting to me for a lot of different things. Where are you at? Man, Facebook sucks. But he had put up a post about the potential for tornadoes in Arkansas for November and the region, actually, and it's looking kind of dicey. Where did that graphic go? Gosh, I don't like this platform. However, I'm going to do this. I'll let you go look for it yourself because you should. Locally, if you're in the Harrison and Branson region, what Brandon has put together is probably one of the, hey, wow, I'm there in picture. But let me come back over here. That's just weird. But what Brandon has built here with Storm Trek 360 is probably one of the most valuable media properties and outreaches that's come, and definitely now, because it's a volunteer thing. It's not like he's getting a paycheck out of this thing. He needs community support. And going back to one of the first things I talked about is what does Harrison need? Well, and I get my old man pants on and I scream at you and say, take care of what you got before you lose it. Well, I can tell you, Storm Track 360 is one of those things that you absolutely positively should embrace and take care of because Brandon and the guys are taking care of you when you need it most. And whenever the weather's fine and dandy, everybody forgets about the weatherman who actually does follow the information. And you don't have that. Not sorry. It's just true. There's no radio or television here that's doing it. And that's a damn shame. Everybody's got an app on their phone. Hopefully you have an alert of some type, and that's good. It's good. Knowledge is power. But at the same time, though, the details, those are escaped until you have someone like Brandon and the Storm Track 360 folks helping break it down for you. And they do a great job. So go there. Did I put that link? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so you got a link there in the comments to Storm Trek 360. And again, show them all the support you can. Like, share, comment for them. Drop a donation. Stuff ain't cheap, man, to actually keep these things going. Me personally, too, you can buy my book. That's it, because I'm not looking for advertisers or sponsors. I'm selling books and some services, but that's for me and you to talk about later. Reach out and we'll do more. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. We'll do this again and trying to get to the stop it button. Come on, stop it button. Don't run away from me. I can't get to the stop it button. There it is. Hey, we're going to stop it now. Thanks for playing along on this episode 1 all over again, and happy Halloween, kids.